Created by Anthony Rizz, Sydney, Australia. This is the short magazine Lee Enfield Mark III rifle used by the Australian military in the two world wars. It is an iconic rifle associated with the British military and other Commonwealth militaries. As the channel suggests, this video is going to be more focused on Australia's part with the rifle. Now, the entire history of the SMLE's creation, the guys at CN Arsenal have a video that I highly recommend if you have the time to watch. Now for the context. The Australian Army before World War I had used the Lee Enfield Mark I and its predecessor, the Lee Medford, during the Second World War, so there was no unfamiliarity to it. At the turn of the century, the Australian Army would adopt the short magazine Lee Enfield Mark III to the Army as part of Australia's modernisation and standardisation of its military. Why the Enfield? Well, it was the most practical choice. Just seemed like the best choice since there was already familiarity with it, and other reasons Lee Enfield fans will mention in the comments section or meme about. So now the military needed a factory to produce them. In 1912, an Australian small arms factory was created in Lithgow, New South Wales, which is quite far from Sydney. They produced the Australian short magazine Lee Enfield Mark III at first, then later other guns in the far future, which today Lithgow is a commercial company called Lithgow Arms. Save that for another day. When the Great War started, Lithgow had to produce during war times. Unfortunately, they couldn't outproduce more than enlistments joining in the military, which might explain why Australian troops sent in Egypt needed more training, as they didn't get a chance to practice with the gun enough. Also, there were complaints of the quality of the rifle, so far that the military had to do their own inspection somewhere in 1916. Reasoning for the quality can range from below decent living conditions for the workers, also hard working hours, an impossible deadline that the factory was working around the clock with day and night shifts. Fun fact, before 1916, the AIF in some cases used SMLEs that were produced from British manufacturers. Also, no one really cared if a refurbished rifle was Australian made then refurbished by a British company, and vice versa, since they were practically the same rifle with a different wood color. By 1916, Lithgow was able to produce enough weapons for the Australian military. You could say there was a decrease of enlistments. By the end of the First World War, almost 100,000 SMLE Mark IIIs were produced. By the end of World War II, Australia produced it between 624,000 to 700,000 rifles coming from different factories. The Mark III was issued in the early stages of the war, then came the Mark III Star in January 1916. Only difference was the Mark III Star then didn't have a magazine cutoff to cut production time. Another model produced was the SMLE 3HT between 1944 to 1946. The HT standard for heavy barrel and telescopic sight, so basically a sniper rifle, but only 1,612 were ever produced. The rifle holds 10.303 British round in a detachable magazine. The round used was the Mark VI ball ammunition, then the Mark VII ball ammunition later in the war. The round is loaded with 5-round stripper clips or single rounds at the top. The magazine was never to be switched by another magazine, only for cleaning. This guy explains it much better than I could. The rifle had a detachable bayonet. Technically, there were two types produced from Lithgow. The original had a hook design, but was discontinued in 1915 for a cylinder version. Now, the wood Lithgow used to make the rifles was walnut trees till 1915, when they used Queensland maple wood, which gave that dark brown look compared to the British bright brown counterpart. Based off of my research from 1913 to 1915, they used walnut trees that were imported from England or planted and grown before the war. Then from 1915 to 1940, they used Queensland maple wood. Then between 1940 to 1955 they used coach wood. The SMLE production was ceased in 1953, being phased out in the mid-1950s for the L1 F1 self-loading rifle. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe, it brings a smile to my face. If you want to know more what Lithgow was making in the future, check the F1 submachine gun. If it pops up here, then click it. And with that, have a nice day.